Not too bad on the audio sounds. The mic looks alright. How's it going, everyone? Gah! The game is still down, yet I must go live. I must, for it is noon, and this is the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you so much for being here. We may have a fairly short day today, but I do have a bit of news I can talk about. We have the 5th season of the Hardcore League kicking off at 1 o'clock Eastern, which is, gosh, about 58 minutes from now. So if you have a name from which you are going to steal, which you're going to which you're going to use for your hardcore character because it's the name that you always want to make sure you grab, I know you may be waiting, like I am, for the hardcore server to open. And yes, hardcore is here. Now, that's the big bit of news, I guess, for today's weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream. But we do have a patch today. I may go over the patch notes, depending on how things go. The game is currently down. We are scheduled until 1 o'clock. Usually we can bring it up a little bit earlier than that. But we did do some kind of hardware and systems-related maintenance this morning as well. I think it just sort of pushed the process out a little bit, so that we're probably going to end up using most, if not all, of that actual downtime this week. And I may actually bail out of the stream here about halfway through or something like that to actually announce the downtime if the game worlds are up and we're ready to go and I need to do that. So we'll just kind of have to see how things go here today, but I do appreciate everyone being here. So we don't have new nasties this season. What this season is a redux of Season 1, specifically a response to all the people who want like the Bloody Footprints and another chance at that those Season 1 rewards. The cloak has a 5 on it, not a 1 on it. That will always remain exclusive, right? But it does have a 5 on it, and the cloak is new, and it's a shorter season by a whole month. However, we're also doing a Reaper XP boost on it, which will be a little bit of a, like I said, we're testing the waters here. See how things go and how it turns out. But that is really this season hardcore. So the death notices, one thing I did want to quick mention, and I guess I could actually, since we're already talking about it, let me just go straight into the page. There we are. So it is underway, except the game worlds are down. As soon as 1 o'clock hits today, this will be accurate, which is that it's now underway, Season 5 of the Hardcore League. At level 20 is the Deathwalker's Sash 5. The 10 Reaper points is the Deathwalker's Cloak 5. If you want that Blood Reaper creature companion, and I know that is also something people want, you're still going to have to get 20 Reaper points in 2 months. That 20% Reaper XP boost will help, but good luck. I don't think I'll be doing it. I will be trying, but I will probably be failing. The other big one, well, there's 1750 favor, the Eyes of Darkness, that's the Death Watches You cosmetic feat. Those are the kind of like dark eyes. And then 5,000 is the Bloody Footprints. That's the biggie, right? Getting 5,000 favor in 2 months isn't going to be easy either. And if you think it is going to be easy, good luck. Let's see it happen. Good luck. People do it. Some of you are amazing. It is, getting 5,000 favor in hardcore is not a piece of cake. The top 100 winners will again be immortalized in the Hall of Heroes. Like I said, we do have a 20% Reaper XP boost available on hardcore, and that is largely to offset the shortened duration of it. We're giving things a little shot here just to see how this works. And we think it'll probably be to everyone's benefit here and make it a very competitive season and what have you. But we'll see how it goes. unlike the original Season 1, which was VIP only, this is open to everybody. That's kind of another piece of this, because people who were not VIP during Season 1 will now have the opportunity to take part, whether they can, in a way that they could not last time. However, keep in mind, all the other stuff, being a free account and all that, or premium, based on what you have unlocked, is still going to apply on the hardcore server. So that's something that may be an additional challenge for you, but it's an option for you as well if you want. And for a lot of people, that's not going to be a big deal. And I'm not going to go through the FAQ here, but you can read this at ddo.com/hardcore, ddo.com/hardcore. So we are going until 1 p.m. Eastern on February 1st, 2022. Oh my God, is it 2022 already? Yes, it will be by the time this season ends. And it's already December 1st of 20. What happened? What happened? The whole year is just like, whatever. Okay. That's how it goes when you're busy and having a good time, I guess. Yeah. So, DDO.com Hardcore kicks off today, 1 o'clock Eastern. Just early as I end the stream here today, within a few moments, we will all be making characters and what have you. Should you be interested in the DDO client through 1 p.m. Eastern on February 1st, 2022, Hardcore, that means you're going to die. Or not, depending how good you are. I'm going to die. I'm usually pretty good at this point until about level 8. And then once level 8 hits, my character level 8 hits, I start running into, level 4? 4 and 5 quests on Elite. And I do something stupid. Because of course I do. And that's how it goes. But anyway, it's a good time, and I'm definitely pushing for it this year, man. I'm going to actually try. I'm going to actually try. No, I'm going to try. I always try. But this year I'm going to actually succeed, I think. Because last season I was time limited, so I did not get as much of a chance to participate as I wanted to. But what I did run, I did pretty well, if I do say so myself. And I do, because I just did. Additionally, I hear there might be a Samus Garobo out there who has offered to help me, and I have no doubt that I could pike my way to there if I'd want to, with Samus's help. I'm just being honest. And learn quite a bit along the way. And, of course, here, the Stream Tom said this too on YouTube, Twitch, and what have you. Grouping matters. One of the biggest things I do on hardcore that is to my detriment is I solo too much. Maybe it's because I don't want to die in front of others. Maybe it's because I don't want to kill others more than I already do. Let's just say that running with Cordovan carries its own risk, especially on hardcore. But I solo too much, and I should be in groups because it makes a difference. It really does. And if you want to go for these rewards, go and do that, right? So there you go. I do have a little bit more I can talk about, but before I do that, let me quick go through chat on all three. I have not yet done that here today, so. Otherwise, yes, it is a repeat of Season 1, including, say, those champions. If you got everything in Hardcore 1, nothing new, ? I'm sorry. You are one of the few. Season 1 was big, but it was the smallest of all of our Hardcore seasons as well. And there aren't a lot of you out there that got everything the first time around. If that is you, though, I guess you're just going to have to destroy that leaderboard or destroy it again, / or not. Up to you. So, but hopefully, if you were that good during Season 1, then Season 5 here should be piece o' cake. Will death announcements work this league? Strim Tom asks. I am aware, Strim Tom, about your issue. As a matter of fact, if I recall correctly, we have got some people working on it. We have top men and women working on it. With your particular issue, because so we have not yet been able to consistently repro the issue with some people not receiving generally their own, but sometimes other people's death notices in hardcore. When I die, I definitely see it, and so does everyone else. And we have not been able to repro that consistently, but we do have actually like some characters and things that we're using in a test environment to try to track that down. Is that going to be in place for this? It's probably going to be the same as it ever was in terms of notices for hardcore. I will say today that the plan is to have no level limit on death notices when we go live today. And then next Wednesday, I believe next Wednesday we'll increase it to level 3. So that means if you die at level 3 and above, it'll put a death notice up. And then the week after that, we'll probably bump it up to 5. Meaning that with, by 2 weeks from now, if you die under level 5, a death notice isn't going to go out. And that's really because by that point, the bulk of the player base has reached a certain critical mass at that level range that it kind of doesn't matter if your old Lopey level 2 died. I'm sorry, but by that point, hey man, just gonna have to re-roll. You know what I mean? So we don't want to flood the world chat with those death notices. So that will be in place. So it'll be basically 0, 3, 5, week 1, 2, right? And that's how that's going to go. But in terms of other bugs, we're working on it. Hopefully, given awareness we have this time around going into the hardcore season that we did not have during the last one, we'll be able to track down any death notice issues and either get them fixed for this season or maybe get them fixed for the next season. But at the very least, we are aware of it. And last I saw, we actually had some character names in that we were going to try to pull to help us do some forensic investigation of what's going on. All right. Even if you don't play, it's good for farming dice gems and getting the once per server account grants. Yes, I guess it is. Is it not? Never made it past level 8. Someone on Twitch says, I have. My top is what, now 12? But that ain't nothing. Most people are much, much better at it than I am. And we have people who have succeeded to incredible levels, which you can see in the Hall of Heroes. I'm hoping to hit 20 this time around. That's my first goal. Let's see if I can do that. And then let's see if I can do 1750. Then let's see if I can do 5,000. Probably not going to happen, but we'll see how it happens. We'll see. Maybe I'll be amazing this year in a way that I've never been before. Okay, let's see. I know that there are some people that really prefer that the Bloody Footprints remain exclusive to the first season of the Hardcore League, and I can appreciate that. Ultimately, though, we have had an awful lot of people over the years, in recent years, who have also asked for an opportunity to get it. And so we had to ultimately make a decision on this one, and we made a decision to offer it again. All I can say about that to the folks of you who are particularly upset is that you've had a couple of good years of exclusivity on it, and I apologize, but we are going to offer it again, so not much more I can say about it than that, I guess. Is the lag issue better this time around? It will hopefully be better than it was at the start of the prior hardcore season. We have been doing a lot of forensic work as well in recent weeks related to lag. We do have some work that's already been done and has shown some improvement, particularly an issue with, say, Reaper enhancement loading when you first log into a quest or instance. But we know that we have more to do. Some of that work also took place today. That was part of that additional hardware maintenance that took place this morning. But we're not really trying to make promises on lag. We'd rather respond to feedback telling us that the lag is better. I think overall it's a more productive way to go. So we'll be doing that this time around as well. But we do also have some other things that we are working on in the coming weeks that I don't know exactly what its timetable for release will be, so it'll kind of be in the release notes when it's ready. But we do have some things that we're working on as well that should hopefully make things quite a bit easier. But especially as it applies to hardcore, uh, I'm pretty sure that Reaper enhancement lag was part of what was being reported during season 4. And so that being vastly improved, I think would lead me to say that at least in that one case, yes, it should be better than it was in season 4. Grasskitch, some about the kind of why can't we do a Matu pre-order if at one point we said this was an exclusive cosmetic reward for Hardcore League. I think ultimately it has to do with the fact that it was Menace of the Underdark was a paid expansion that people paid quite a bit of real money for back in the day. And so that there's some kind of consumer laws and such that are in place, maybe not in the same way that it would be for a hardcore league. All I can say is I'm a little surprised if we had said back in season 1 it was exclusive. I try to never use that word for this reason, but if we did, it was exclusive for a couple of years here, right? So that's about all I can say about that. Sorry. I know it's probably a sore spot for people who feel strongly about it, but it is what it is in this case, and I think ultimately we do have a lot of people, including people in Twitch chat and such over the years, who have begged us to bring that thing back again, because for various reasons they weren't able to play for that 90-day period back in that time, even though they are very competitive players who could do very well with that sort of bloody footprints today. So I think the long period of exclusivity it has had is both good, but also I think it's okay that we're offering it again. And I know that there are some people who are going to disagree with that assessment. And to that, I guess all I can really say is I'm sorry. I don't recall if we're doing. I don't think we're doing lives between levels this time, but I will have to follow up on that question. I don't think it's really come up in any of the conversations I've had, so I'm gonna have to. I don't. I think the answer is no, or otherwise I would have heard about it, but I don't. I don't think so. We'll have to double check on that. I hope I'm not entirely wrong. All right. Hello, everyone over on YouTube. I don't see any questions there I have not yet answered. Let me go over to Facebook. What is going on with Arcane Archer? I don't know what is going on with Arcane Archer. If you're asking about when are we going to be working on Arcane Archer development, I have not heard of plans to focus on Arcane Archer by the systems team. I know that our focus has been on Epic Destinies, for example, and in many cases, or well, at least in some cases, people have been taking kind of a much-deserved break, using up some of that vacation time and what have you here, now that Update 51 is out the door, particularly if you've been putting in some long hours for quite a while to get Epic Destinies out with Update 51 and everything. And we still know that we have follow-up work to do related to Epic Destinies. And a lot of the people would also be the same people who might do, like, say, a suggested revamp of Arcane Archer or something like that. So I don't really see us doing a lot of work on Arcane Archer that I'm aware of in the short term here. But I would also expect that when opportunity presents itself to work on Arcane Archer, I know that I've heard both the community frequently, ask for some changes there, and the systems team talk about kind of what could be done there. So I think that it's something that we're not opposed to doing, and I would expect to see it someday, but I would not expect to see it in the short term. And if I'm not aware of any kind of statement that might have been made, if we have the opportunity to work on it, that would be great. But I have not really heard of that opportunity to date. No, Daniel. Your old characters from Hardcore Season 1 will not be available. This is Season 5. This is a new season of the Hardcore League. And all the elements that contains, including things like, first-time rewards, but also things like a completely wiped server, both at the start and at the finish. So remember, read up on DDO.com hardcore if you don't remember that bit, which is that after, we do have a period where everyone transitions off for free, but then that server gets wiped. And that includes things like your Astral Shard balance on there and your guild and your anything that's in your shared bank, right? So take care of that. Spend it down. Do whatever you want to do, right? And you can read up on that on DDO.com hardcore. All right, let's see. What do we got? Change of topic. When are the DDO servers back up? I will be looking in just a second. Why do I not answer support tickets? The reason I do not answer support tickets is that I do not work for customer service. The support tickets I personally answer are the ones that tend to get into the community queue, specifically related to things like forum access. I will often be the person who flips switches to unban people from the forums if it didn't automatically happen after their account got unbanned for whatever, say a server lock or whatever ends up happening, right? So I do a little bit of ticket work in the system with customer support, and I do get a lot, incoming to me, specifically through social media and the forums and private messages and Discord messages and Twitter private messages and Facebook Messenger and things like that. But it's really more than one person can pass along. Ultimately, what I do is I do pass along a lot of things to customer service, and so I do facilitate in that role. But I am not specifically someone who would be answering your ticket, and I cannot guarantee when I do pass this stuff along, really that it helps expedite your particular issue, even if I know in some cases has been a while. We know CS has been working hard and will be continuing to work hard, and we have people continuing to be trained up and working into a position where we're we're tearing through tickets now at this point. But we have a lot to get through, and so I know that there is a bit of a backlog right now, and I know that is very frustrating to some people. But in terms of what can I do personally, typically my role is as a conduit to help let people know that, hey, you're asking about X, Y, and Z on Twitter and what have you. But usually there is only so much I can do beyond that, and I know that can be frustrating to hear, but that is sometimes the truth. So that is usually the truth, and so I want to, be careful that I not set too much of an expectation that getting in touch with me is going to resolve your issue, because I get a lot of it, and there's only so much I can do. But I do what I can, and we do pass things along, and we do know ultimately, that it's been a while in some cases here on our ticketing system in recent weeks, perhaps the last couple of months. And it's something that we're working to get through as a backlog. I am going through Facebook chat. That is what I'm doing. A contest for hardcore deaths. So the thing about that is if there was actually a benefit to doing so, if there was actually a reason to die on hardcore because, say, there was a leaderboard, you could game it, right? Where you just create, die, create, die, create, die. You could do that if you wanted to. No one would want to do that because there's no reason to do that. But if you theoretically had a reason to do that, see, that could be a problem, right? So that's why I think you'd have to be careful about who got the most deaths on hardcore. When instead, the better way to go is to not have that reward, but capture that data, and then at the end, say, so-and-so died so many times. But I don't know. Sometimes maybe people don't want that information out there either. So, if you hear dings and things in the background, it's because I do have email up, and I'm keeping an eye out for, chat about the uptime. I know we're getting pretty close to our announced 1 o'clock uptime here, and I know that it's been pretty quiet on the downtime front. I know that, like I said, they were doing some additional kind of hardware and virtual software hardware environment in addition to today's update. So it could be things are just running a little late. That's my suspicion here. But when I say late, that still doesn't mean we're not going to be up by 1. That just means I haven't heard a whole lot yet. So, other than, people doing what they normally do. I could go through the release notes if there's anything briefly here to talk about. Let me call that page up. All right. So, the release notes for a new Destiny. We did talk about the landscape here. Just checking my phone. All right. We have an animation fix for Bears and Wolves. Beacon of Hope, Wall of Healing in particular. Oops, I got to fix that Reaper note. Lost its formatting. Saying Dire Thaumaturge, cores 4, 5, and 6 will now give their proper amount of hit points and spell points. Got some Epic Destiny fixes, and I'm not going to go through all of this, but you can take a look at that if you want to. This is 51.2 that got released today. Fix an issue with the perfected artifacts from the Sands of Menektarin. One of the big things that drove the pack, in addition to the Epic Destiny fixes, is we've opened up all the quests and even all the raids. So, A Small Problem and Vaughn 5 and 6, Chronoscope, A Tide Turn, Storm the Beaches are all open again. So all of our quests are back open after the monster statting work that needed to be done to them with the release of 51, a couple of weeks ago now. So now all that stuff is open, including the new raids, or the raids, not new raids, including the raids. So there we go. And we also put in a fix for some spell targeting issues in update 51.2 here, and that was a big driver as well. So let us know how things are looking after this goes live here in a little bit. All right, looks like our worlds are basically getting ready to open. We're not quite there yet, but we're within minutes of being there. So it does look like we're going to be open by 1 o'clock for sure. Let me take a quick stroll through chat again and see what we got. Am I going to play it on the live stream? Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely play hardcore next couple of weeks on the live stream here as appropriate. And we'll see how things go. So you can see me not die. You can see me not die live. I don't have previews of the hardcore rewards for you. I didn't prepare that beforehand because the server's down. And I think I'm going to keep that a secret for now. Maybe next week. Maybe next week I can pop in to a admin character quick and show some of that stuff off. But it does already exist from Season 1. The cloak and the sash are the design of Season 1, but with the 1 out and the current Season 5 put in to make sure that those are differentiated. What else do I got? Are those weird champs from 4 going to be in 5? No. No. Sorry. Horizon Walker totally wiped out Arcane Archer and Deepwood Stalker out of existence. Oh my god. I'm so sorry that happened. What? Okay, so, I mean, let me say this. I'm actually playing a Horizon Walker right now, and I've been enjoying it. I was of the impression at least Arcane Archer was still totally in a pretty okay place with some needed improvements wanted. And then Deepwood Stalker is not dramatically in a position that it wasn't in, right? I don't know. Yes, Luria, have all of the incentives from Extra Life been sent out? No, as a matter of fact, starting last week, I've been spending most evenings about an hour, hour and a half going through the spreadsheets. I started after, I guess it was on the 22nd of November, drawing all the winners, and then that following evening I distributed all the codes for the winners and asked people what they wanted on the DDO side. And then over the past 3 to 4 days after that, through Thanksgiving and that, there was a couple of days I wasn't able to get to it, obviously, because of the holiday. And then first half of this week, I've pretty much spent a couple of hours every night just kind of going through that stuff. I've got a lot of you on the DDO and Lotro side combined. I think we're looking at something like 400 and some, which is a lot of people to get back to individually. But I'm doing it. And so if you have not heard back from me yet, you're not alone. There are quite a few of you out there who have not heard back from me. But I have gotten both group and individual incentives out to about 110, 115-ish people. And all the group giveaways, you either have your code or you've heard back from me to say, hey, what do you want? And that's where we're currently sitting in Extra Life. And then tonight, tomorrow, next couple of nights, I'm going to be working through that list, going through the initial kind of 400 and some, and then I've got a big pile of follow-ups to that. And so basically I just go all the way through the list, all the way through the follow-ups, all the way through the follow-ups, and just winnow it down basically until it's all done. And that will probably take a couple of weeks, to be honest. But most of the initial work and the initial receiving stuff will be happening in the coming days as I get to you on the spreadsheet here that I've got. So keep an eye out in your inbox, and that should take care of it. And if you've already told me what you want, then it'll probably be sent to you in-game. And that'll be done in the coming days here as well. So, all right. There we go. And that's for Extra Life. Looks like the game is live. Yes, I am seeing that as well. All right, 12:35. Yep, the game worlds are live. So I think what I'm going to do is actually end the live stream in a brief moment, just to make sure that there was nothing happening here. But I did want to real quick mention that we do have one sales thing happening as well, and one events thing happening as well before I wrap up the show here today. The sales thing, our December deals kick off tomorrow. Now, what those are deep discounts on a couple of items. It's usually something like 35, 50, 75% off some stuff. And that changes every week. It's a weekly sale in addition to the regular weekly sale that we're doing for DDO. And that's kicking off tomorrow. Also, coin drops are going to start dropping for Festival. Yes, the Jester of the Festival is getting ready to arrive. The Jester is not here yet. Per usual, the coins predate the Jester's arrival. and get turned off before the Jester leaves. But that's happening this week as well. So starting this week, you'll be seeing coins drop throughout the game world here for Festival, and then a little while later, perhaps something like next week, the Jester will be showing up in-game to exchange that stuff for the various cookies. We also do have a patch that we're working on here for next week as well. That is going to be a game update that includes a free dungeon and some general bug fixing as well. And so stay tuned for some downtime and announcements related to that. So yeah, got hardcore kicking off in about 20 minutes. We got the game worlds up. We've got a game patch next week, update 52 with a free dungeon, and a whole bunch more happening, and our December deals kicking off, and coin drops beginning for Festival. So that's the news, everyone, and I'm going to head on out to announce that the game worlds are open and then get ready here to do some work related to hardcore. So thank you so much for joining me on the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I'll be back next Wednesday, most likely playing on the hardcore server, and I will talk to you all again soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.